You know the story. Every single year, like clockwork, the monsoon hits, and with it, it's the same frustrating pictures, right? Waterlogged streets, cars that are basically floating, and entire cities just grinding to a halt. It's become this national ritual we almost expect. But why? Why does this keep happening?
So yeah, that's the big question we're going to tackle today. Seriously, how can just a few hours of rain cause total chaos in our biggest cities? All right, let's get into it.
Okay, so the easy answer. The one you hear on the news all the time, right? Oh, it was just unprecedented rainfall. But come on, that's just not the whole picture. It's not even close. The real reasons, well, they're a lot deeper and, honestly, a lot more uncomfortable to talk about.
So to really get this, we've got to look underground. I mean, right at the very foundations of our cities. Because that's where the problem really starts, with drainage systems that were built for an India that just doesn't exist anymore.
Think about it. These systems were designed for a totally different era. We're talking towns with way fewer people, tons of open land that could actually soak up the rain, and, well, gentler rains. But what are they up against now? Overcrowded megacities, these massive concrete jungles where water has nowhere to go. And on top of that, these crazy, intense cloudbursts we keep getting.
So what you have is just a total mismatch. It's simple, really. The pipes are too small, the whole network doesn't cover enough ground, and the way they were designed is just ancient history. These old drains, they're basically giving up before the storm even really gets going.
And listen, it's not just about what's buried underground. Look at how our cities have exploded. It's literally a recipe for disaster. We've just filled in crucial wetlands to build more stuff. We've put up buildings right on top of where water used to flow naturally. We've even built roads higher than everything around them, creating these giant bowls that just trap water. I mean, we've basically, step by step, blocked every single escape route that water naturally had.
And that right there, that's the heart of the problem with our city planning. It's like our cities used to have these natural lungs, the open spaces, the lakes. They could breathe, they could absorb water. We've ripped them out and replaced them with concrete. Water has to go somewhere, right? Well, we paved over every single one of its options.
Okay, so we've got old systems and terrible planning. That's bad enough. But what's making it worse, like every single day? Well, that's where things get a little personal. We have to talk about us, the human factor, our habits, and the neglect that comes with them.
And let's be real here for a second, we've all seen it. Plastic bags, food waste, bottles, chip packets, construction junk, all of it just chucked aside. And where does it end up? Straight into the drains. Then you add in all the silt that just builds up because nobody's cleaning it regularly, and what do you get? A system that's completely and utterly choked.
And this is a really, really important point. You could have the best, most advanced drainage system on the planet, but if we treat it like a garbage bin, it's going to fail every time. The rain isn't the real problem here. It's just the thing that exposes the problem we created. And that brings us right to the next big issue, maintenance, or, the lack of it. What these drains need is simple. Regular, all-year-round cleaning and repairs. But what do they get instead? A last-minute, panicked cleanup job right before the monsoon hits. And if a drain is broken, don't worry about it. It's just ignored for years, literally, until it falls apart. The whole approach is just completely backwards. We're always reacting, never preventing. The only time real maintenance seems to happen is after a flood, as a quick fix, instead of, doing the work beforehand to stop the flood from ever happening.
Which leads us up the chain to the very top level of this problem, governance. Or, rather, the failure of it. It's the classic story of plans on paper, puddles on the ground. The plans exist, sure. The money is often there too. But there's this huge, massive disconnect between what's said in an office and what we actually see or don't see on our streets.
And it creates this totally predictable, frustrating cycle every single year. Before the rains, you get the big announcements, the press conferences. After the floods hit, it's the blame game. Everyone points fingers. And for the rest of the year, pretty much nothing. So of course, no real long-term solutions ever get put in place, and the whole system just keeps getting worse and worse.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to one word: accountability. Without someone being held responsible, without strict checks to make sure the work is actually getting done right, all those brilliant plans are just paper. Paper sitting in a file cabinet somewhere, gathering dust.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any more complicated, there's another huge piece to this puzzle, a factor that's taking this already terrible situation and just pouring gasoline on the fire: climate change. It's like a massive stress multiplier for our cities. See, climate change has completely changed the rules of the game. It's not about gentle, steady rain anymore. Now it's all about these short, extreme, intense downpours, these cloudbursts that dump a crazy amount of water in no time at all. And that sudden, immense pressure, it's hitting an infrastructure that we already know is completely broken.
But here's the crazy part. Our response hasn't changed at all. Instead of saying, okay, we have a new reality, we need to upgrade our systems to handle it, we're just putting Band-Aids on it. We keep patching up a system that is, for all practical purposes, obsolete.
So let's put it all together. After looking at all of this, what's the final diagnosis? It's simple and it's stark. These floods we see every year, they aren't a natural disaster. Not at all. They are a man-made disaster. One that's created by a whole web of shared responsibility.
And this really breaks it down for you. You can see the anatomy of this failure right here. It's not just one thing you can point to, it's this perfect storm of weak systems, awful planning, our own negligence as citizens, and a total failure in governance. Every single one of those slices is a critical piece of the puzzle.
So the solution has to come from two directions at once. This whole miserable cycle is just going to repeat year after year until two things happen. We, as citizens, have to change our habits, and the authorities have to actually commit to fixing the systems. You can't have one without the other. It just won't work.
If there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. The flooding, the chaos, the damage we see every monsoon, none of it is natural. It's not some unavoidable act of God. It is the direct, predictable outcome of decades of our own choices, our own actions, and maybe most importantly, our inaction.
And that leaves us with one last and pretty urgent question. The real problem here isn't managing water, it's managing responsibility. So you have to wonder, until that responsibility starts flowing faster than the rainwater, from every one of us all the way up to the people in charge, are our cities just doomed to keep drowning year after year?